9-26 win over the then San Diego Chargers. I was there covering this game in Miami. It was one of the least competitive sporting events I've ever witnessed in my entire life. This game was literally over in the first quarter. Okay, let's move on. So today's question for Jeff and Neek. There's only one player in the last 10 seasons. So for clarity, that goes back to the 2015 season. Only one player who has rushed for 100 yards in a Super Bowl, a single Super Bowl game. Can you name him?
We are going with Gurley from the Rams.
Todd Gurley from the Rams is not only not right,
not even close.
It's not even particularly close.
The reason I'm up here is because I was researching this and I came up with the answer 2 days ago. I saw it. Former Chiefs player, 2020.
His name is Damian Williams. Damian Williams.
104 yards, 17 carries.
Ran for 104 yards against the 49ers. The only players in the last 20 years to rush for 100 yards in Super Bowls. Damian Williams, Marshawn Lynch, Frank Gore, Dominique Rhodes, and Thomas Jones.
Thomas Jones, love it.
Against the Colts in the Super Bowl. Okay.
Damian look relaxed on PJ. Hey, boy. I see you. I know. You ain't had practice that day, huh? Okay.
Can we get us a little tighter shot on that so everyone can see what he means? Just a tight shot on his eyes.
That guy's chilling on Victor Day. Oh, Victor Day was on Friday.
I see what you see. Okay, on we go. It is time for everyone's favorite feature. It is time for D's Notes. And you're going to be very happy, Dominique, because today we only have two of them.
All right.
We have two notes. Let's start, one for each of the Super Bowl teams.
We have two notes.
The Eagles in these playoffs have 10 takeaways on defense and 0 turnovers on offense. It is the most takeaways without a turnover by any team entering the Super Bowl in Super Bowl history. In addition, no Super Bowl winning team has ever gone an entire postseason without a turnover on offense.
Really?
You saying they do?
I'm saying it's never happened before.
Noted.
That's these notes. Well, this has been, it goes back to the conversation that we were having before about Jalen Hurts, and they got a little more aggressive in the passing game to the point you made earlier this past weekend, but generally, Jeff, you should rejoice in this statistic because the safest thing you can do is hand the ball to Saquon Barkley.
Risk reward. It's a low risk, high reward offense that the Eagles run, and they will continue to do it. And when you think about how
maybe Saquon Barkley won't be the MVP of this Super Bowl, going back to the 2019 season when they started winning Super Bowls in this run, Kansas City has played 18 playoff games and allowed 0 100-yard rushers. The last time they allowed a 100-yard rusher in the playoffs was the 2018 AFC Championship game to Sony Michel. By the way, they lost that game. Is Saquon going to run for 100 yards a week from Sunday?
I don't think he is.
Really?
I don't think he's going to hit 100. I think that Spags is going to make a point to take him out of the game because, it's easier said than done, absolutely. But at the same time, you're going to give Jalen the opportunity to get out of that straitjacket. Like, we want to see you line up and just throw it all over the yard because another big difference between the Commanders and the Chiefs are their defensive backs.
Yes.
McDuffie and Watson on the outside. For sure. Watson's been playing well since he's back from injury, and McDuffie is, he's locked down.
Yeah.
Attack. And then throwing becomes a lot easier, even if you have good corners. It's really hard to play man coverage, particularly when the refs don't like defensive players. But that's the thing
which they don't.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah. So I think that the best way for them to stop the running attack is to get an early lead and force them out of their comfort zone and make it so that they have to drop back and pass.
I think Jalen Hurts' running ability is going to be the difference maker in this game because if you put all your assets into stopping Saquon Barkley, or if you are Sirianni, you are like, hey, we're gonna pull guys and then let's go.
We got one game.
That's the whole point because every team, again, I mentioned the Commanders covering them. They came in with this objective. We cannot allow Saquon to go off with the explosive plays.
Right.
It is easier said than done. I think the Chiefs defense will have I think they match up a little bit better against the Eagles,
sure.
but that doesn't mean that Saquon can't still go off. And to your point, the Jalen aspect there, I think that's what the Eagles want. Okay, you want to stop Saquon?
Yeah.
Cool. Because we have those two guys on the outside. We also have this quarterback. I think that's why this matchup is so intriguing.
And the Chiefs edge setters, which are basically the defensive ends that want to make plays, they are very good at condensing, but they're going to have to be extremely disciplined in their eyes and the way they follow this game. I'm just telling you, it can get – because Jalen can take that 40 yards or 60 yards as well. Yeah. That's the dangerous part about their offense is that Saquon can do it and their quarterback can do it. So now you're trying to play both sides of the line of scrimmage, which I don't care how good your defense is, it's difficult to do to shut somebody down all the way.
The Chiefs are one of the best coached teams
Absolutely.
in NFL history. Between Andy and Steve Spagnuolo, they'll have some plan.
doubt.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be fascinating to see
Corners
how
are
it
going to
goes.
be tackling.
They always do.
We have an ESPN
They always do.
NBA
25 yards on
doubleheader
the
tonight.
field.
Jokic and the Nuggets taking on Brunson and the Knicks, followed by Steph and the Warriors and SGA and the outstanding OKC Thunder. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern here tonight on ESPN. First take on the way. Is Saquon already an all-time great running back? Does a three-peat make the Chiefs the greatest dynasty? Molly.
All right, y'all, let's talk about Mahomes. Now, when it comes to the NFL, there's one thing we can all agree on. The Super Bowl changes everything. It's the moment when every storyline gets cranked up to 11 and the debates hit a fever pitch. And right now, one conversation's taken over. If Patrick Mahomes pulls off a three-peat, does he become the Michael Jordan of football? Now, you know Mahomes ain't one to get rattled. He took that question with the usual coolness. He said, "You see for the competitors that they are. They compete to win. That's who you need to be in order to have success in professional sports. Obviously, there's a long way for me to go to be in mention with those guys, but I'll do what I can to be as close as I can be." Classic Mahomes, y'all, humble, but we all know he's got that drive. But let's not sugarcoat it. That humility doesn't change the facts. Mahomes is wrecking the record books every time he steps on the field. Ever since 2018, the dude's been making magic happen. AFC dominance, highlight reel plays, you name it. Mahomes is taking names and setting the pace. And now, with that 4th Super Bowl ring in his sights, comparisons to legends like Michael Jordan and Tom Brady? They ain't just pub talk anymore, folks. They're real. Think about it for a second. Mahomes is sitting at 3 rings already. If he snags another one, he ties Brady's total by his 7th season as a starter. Brady had to wait a whole decade between rings 3 and 4. But not Mahomes. He's out here setting records like it's nothing. He's pushing the pace, stacking accolades, and making other top quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow look like they're just a bump in the road. This right here is the stuff we saw MJ do in the 90s, y'all. Jordan kept great players from even sniffing a ring because he was just that good. But here's the thing. None of this means a lick if the Chiefs don't finish the job. If Mahomes and Kansas City fall short, that Jordan comparison takes a back seat for now. But if they snag a 3rd straight Lombardi, now we're talking about legacy. We're talking history. At that point, it ain't, is Mahomes the Jordan of the NFL? It's, how much more can this guy do? Now, let's think about this. Mahomes isn't just playing for another ring, he's playing for his place in history. He's got a chance to push his career into legendary territory. When you compare the way he's handled pressure, the success he's had in such a short amount of time, it feels like he's got the same unshakable mentality that Jordan had in the NBA. His ability to rise to the occasion not just in the big games, but week after week proves he's built different. So, my question to you is this. Could Mahomes already be on the path to becoming the NFL's GOAT? Or does he need that elusive 3rd Super Bowl victory to cement his place in history?